Good morning, and I hope that this devotion here's has you looking well into the future of 2024. I had a bit of a technology glitch there. I'm George Fuller, the pastor at Wendell Christian Church, and I'm glad that you are here with us. The goal we have for our devotions is that we would encourage one another in following Jesus Christ. And we are at the dawning of 2024, and there's much ahead in 2024 for each of us and all of us. There's turmoil going on in our world. There perhaps is turmoil going on in your own world. There are people suffering, and perhaps you and people you love are suffering. There's also good things happening. We celebrate babies being born. We celebrate the beginning of a new year where we continue to chase opportunities and do the work and ministries and loving that God has called us to do in the places that God has given us to do it. And the good thing that we can remind one another about all the time as disciples of Christ is that God is with us, working in our lives and through our lives, teaching us and growing us and equipping us to love well, to love ourselves, to love our neighbor as ourselves. And all of that in the context of loving God with all of our heart, soul, body, mind, and strength. And what I was wanting to do today is look at the beginning of the Gospel of John. And in the beginning of the Gospel of John, it starts out in this way. And I'm reading out of the Bibliotheca Bible, which a friend of my son's put together years ago and has sold many, many copies. He bound it together and put a translation together that doesn't have the chapters and verses in it. His desire was for people to just read it as a piece of literature and not approach it as a textbook. And I find it very encouraging. And so my practice is to read through the scriptures over and over. And so I'm reading now through this bound version of the scriptures. And this is how the Gospel of John begins. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This one in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing made that has been made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not apprehend it. There came a man sent from God whose name was John. This one came for witness, that he might bear witness of the light, that all might believe through him. That one, John, was not the light, but came that he might bear witness to the light. There was the true light, which lights every man coming into the world. In the world he was, and the world through him was made, and the world did not know him. To his own he came, as to the Jewish people, and those who were his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God. To those who believe on his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. The Word became flesh and tabernacled among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten from the Father, full of grace and truth. What I feel committed to do and encourage us all to do at the beginning of 2024 is to come back to the reality that John the Baptist helped us see, is that we are all, as surely as John the Baptist, in this world to let others know that we are not the light, but that we point to the light. We are infused with, filled with, and led by the light, which is the revelation of God in Jesus Christ. And so anyone that we follow, any philosophy we follow, any political leader we follow, any person that we follow, any pastor or parent or friend or boss, the thing that we're looking for is the same thing John is looking for. The same thing we exist to do is the same thing John existed to do. We are looking for those who recognize the true light of Jesus Christ, that follow Jesus Christ, that point to Jesus Christ, and are going to build the kind of kingdom that Jesus Christ lived, described, taught, and commissioned us as Christians to build. I think that's very challenging, but I like the reality that he gave us the right to become children of God. He actually fills us with this Holy Spirit and enables us to be his children and to learn. So give yourselves and everyone around you plenty of grace. Return each morning, several times during the day, end your day in the evening, reflecting upon how you have known and lived in relationship to, shown and demonstrated in the way you speak and live, that the light has come into the world, full of grace and truth, as we live our lives full of grace and truth, so that we might be, in the beginning of this year, what we hope is true in the beginning of every day of our lives, that we would, like John, be clear. It is our job to point to the life, the teachings, the revelation of the spirit of the kingdom that was described, lived, ordained, and called us, and we are called into the kingdom of Jesus Christ. So I encourage you in this year that lies ahead to encourage one another, to stay connected deeply to your church family, to stay connected deeply to the people in your life who are like you and John the Baptist, finding, pointing to, and following Jesus Christ. May that be so in us and among us.